Hey, welcome to lesson number 7 in Podcasting 101. This is an updated video because when we originally recorded this series, the service that we were using has since changed its name. So it is now called podcast.co. So I wanted to update the video for you and actually give you some insight into what is new in the platform. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to take your podcast online. You've got it recorded, you've got it edited, you've got it exported as an MP3 file, and now you need to get it out to the different platforms and networks. So there's a lot of different services out there that you could use. Now, the one that we use in our business is called podcast.co, and you can do a Google search for podcast publishing services, and you'll see all of them out there. So if you understand the concept behind one, you'll be able to understand the concept behind any of them that are out there. So what I'm going to do here is quickly sign in. Now, why would you use a service like this? Well, the benefit is there are multiple platforms to house your podcast for people to consume. You've got Google, you've got Apple, you've got Spotify, you've got Audible. There's many different ones out there, and you could go ahead and upload it to your website with a WordPress plugin, and then go and set up all those accounts and submit it for approval. But the benefit with using a service like this is, especially in this one, they will auto-submit it to you to all those networks. So when you go and create your account and you set up your podcast initially, you can say, distribute this for me. And it takes up to 14 days for some to get approved and start to show up on those platforms. Once they're approved, then it's simply go in and upload a new episode, and within minutes, they're available across the board anywhere you're at. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, our podcast, the one you're going to see here, now I may have showed you other ones throughout the other videos back in 2018 when I recorded the series. This one didn't exist. So this is called the Content Amplification Podcast, and we talk about how to create content for your business. You should subscribe. If you haven't heard about it, you can go ahead and do that. So when you go in here, you go add a podcast and you create all your information. So I'm going to go and click on the one that we have here. And we're going to go ahead and look at the different episodes. So we've got, I think 32 episodes right now. And when we go and set it up, what you're going to be looking at doing is creating artwork for your initial podcast. It needs to be a square image, at least 1080 by 1080. Recommended 1440 by 1400 by 1400 pixels. If you're looking to design something like that, I recommend Canva. Great system. They have a lot of templates in there for podcasts as well. So this is going to be the visual representation of your podcast. And then you're going to have your podcast name, your category, any subcategory, and the description of the overall podcast. Not the episode, but the overall podcast. And then down here, weekly digest email. In this case, this is where you receive an email with your latest analytics that are on there. Under advanced, you're going to have information for your website, for your podcast, your copyright, your time zone, who's the author, is it episodic, meaning are there episodes, or is it a serial podcast, which means it's like a series. So it's really the two different kinds. Your language and your content rating, is it explicit or is it clean? And that's going to depend on approvals and things like that. Once you've got that set up, the other part that I like about this is the fact that you get your own page. Now, we went ahead and actually built a website for our podcast, but if you don't want to go that route, you actually get a page, and I'll actually just pop it open here in another tab and show you what that looks like. So you can control the background colors. You've got options to subscribe, share. You can see all the different seasons here, and you can click and actually go to the episode, and each episode will have its own page. So without ever building a website, you could subscribe to a service like this and start to promote this stuff on social. People can go here and hit play, listen to your episode, put in your show notes and all the fine details of a podcast. Now, once that's done, and you go to create a new podcast episode, you're going to go to upload a podcast, and simply you're going to be posed with find that file on your computer and upload it. Once it's done, it's going to go into an edit mode, which looks like this. I'm just going to go to edit one of the existing podcasts. So it'll ask you for the episode name, the description, the author, the episode type, the episode number, and the season number as well. And you could actually have specific images for each episode. So if you've got different guests, maybe you want to have a different image for that. Or if you want to design in Canva, specific names to the podcast episode and use that graphics, you can do that as well. We just chose to use our standard branding on our podcast. And then once you've uploaded it and it's processed, it will then show up on the other platforms that are out there. Now, when we go and look at share and publish, this is where that one-click distribution comes into play. So they'll distribute it to all the different platforms that are here. And if you wanted to go see one, you could go like Apple and click over here. It's going to open another tab. It'll actually take you to your podcast in that platform. So you'll be able to share that out. And I don't know, it's going to load here. The computer is a little slow at the moment. So there we go. Here it comes up. So you can go ahead and share that out. If you know somebody's using Apple, you want to have specific links on your website or in your emails, you can go ahead and do that. But it makes it really easy for that. Now, there are other ones out there that do require you to submit an RSS feed. That is shown here. So if you ever need to put that in there, this is the feed that you need for them to pull that out. Another great feature is the podcast player. So you can actually embed this on your website so that people can go ahead and play it right from your website or your blog or anything like that. You can have subscribe buttons that you can actually embed just like this, and people can click and subscribe to the different platforms right on your website as well. Each of your episodes, if we come back to here, if you, let's say you wanted to do a blog post about this episode, you could do that, and you want to embed this one right into the blog post, you can click share. No, not the wrong one. You can go to, sorry, that's back here. You can go into this part here, click share episode, and then you can take this code here, and it makes it look just like this, and people can hit play, or they can go ahead and click on the link here. This one doesn't do it that way, or you can have the mini player, which is just more of a player timeline across the board here. So this is a great way to do that and get your podcast out there. You'll definitely need some kind of way to publish it and distribute it to all the different networks that are out there. So we recommend podcast.co. So in closing, thank you so much for checking out our mini series here on Podcast 101 so you can get up and start it with your podcast. Hopefully you learned something in these episodes and you were able to, take those learnings and start to think about what are you going to do in a podcast, how are you going to create it, and start to build that brand online. If you want help with your podcast, you want some strategic coaching in it, or you need some help with the production side, you can by any means reach out anytime at bluecowmarketing.ca. Go there and schedule a free consult, and we can help you out with your podcast. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing your podcast online.